Just a few bad breaks can change everything.
I travel a lot because of my job.
So I don't have a job. I move around a lot.
It's hard to get everyone to agree on what they want for dinner.
Dinner? Well, sometimes we just don't get it.
A lost job, a serious illness, a wrong choice, a death in the family. They're what can separate a life from a life on the streets.
My commute makes it feel like I live in my car.
I live in my car.
I've been saving this for a rainy day.
On a rainy day, I need saving.
I've been on the streets for the past 4 years, trying to survive.
When it's cold outside, you have to grin and bear it. But when you're outside all day, a coat doesn't help you stay warm.
Right now, I'm trying to figure a way how I'm going to eat tonight.
But if it only takes a few setbacks to change a life, then why can't a few blessings do the same? 6,500 people in Charlotte need our help. On the streets, they're homeless. At the Urban Ministry Center, they're neighbors.
If you haven't really been in those shoes, you know, you could never ever really know what it's like.
All trying to break out of a cycle of destruction.
I was homeless for 11 years.
Into a circle of friends.
Our neighbors are not problems to be solved, they're people to be loved.
Nobody wants to face the day alone every day.
But you know, even if you just have one person, just have one person, it's well worth it. It's well worth it.
You know, Charlotte's economy has been very hard hit, and there's this feeling or sense that, you know, woe is me, don't I have all these problems? And to come here and see cheerful faces and thankful people who have problems unimaginable to me, it really brings life into perspective.
We don't need you to care about homelessness, we need you to care about homeless people.
The Urban Ministry Center has a lot of services that are very necessary to homeless people. There's showers, they do laundry, they feed you. It's a great place to network and find out where to go look for a job.
Knowing that you can come here and actually see people that has a positive attitude, that can look you directly in the eye and say, well, it's going to be okay.
We very much believe that relationships are what change lives. Our soup has never changed anybody's life, but how we serve the soup can make all the difference in the world.
In day-to-day life, you walk by people and they see you coming, they put their head down, or they may even cross the street, or they're definitely not going to speak to you and say, hey. But like I said, when you come here, there's a friendliness, there's a warmth to it.
If this place wasn't here, I know for sure I would be dead or in jail. I know that. I know that.
Through programs like gardening or soccer or art, that there are people who will engage in those programs where they would not sign up to see a counselor in a formal kind of counseling setting. But while they're out there pulling weeds or watering the garden or whatever, they start talking with the person next to them, and then this trust begins to be formed.
To give them small victories, to give them ways they can excel, I think is phenomenal in building their self-esteem.
You feel like, okay, this is another day, another opportunity for me to get something done, to take yourself out of this situation. I go to school full-time, so because I figured if I'm going to get off the streets permanently, I got to do something as far as getting a degree, finding something that I really like. Don't get a job, get a career.
God is good.
I just see the convergence of volunteers and I see the convergence of results, and I think it's a phenomenal investment, and the returns very obvious and very measurable.
But love of Mr. Mercer here and his family is one of the reasons that I'm sitting right here today, because when I met him, he asked me, he said, Coleman, he said, is there anything I can do to help you? I said, yeah. I said, I need a friend.
I think the relationship is so mutually rewarding. But I would say, I would argue with Coleman as to who's gotten more out of this relationship, him or me. I'd say I have, because of what I learned from Coleman all the time. But maybe we'll just argue about that the rest of our days.
The most important thing is we move from an attitude of, I'm going to help somebody, to I identify with this person on some deep down human level. That this person is more like me than they are different from me. What matters is being with that person in their struggles and being willing to stand next to them when there's a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, a lot of despair, and that by standing together, that despair can turn into hope. And we discover that suddenly we are neighbors, and we didn't know we had been neighbors.
Beyond the Divide is a way to bridge the gap, a way to faith and friendship. You can be different, or you can be the difference.